There's a lady I'm looking for. Please help me. If you see this video, my sister, you know you're the one. Because only you and I share this video, this story. And I'm sharing this video hoping that perhaps, by virtue of you having my phone number at some point, maybe algorithm brought across to you any of my social media accounts, and you followed me or you sent me a friend request. I do not know. So it was in late January 2019. The both of us, we were admitted, or our loved ones were admitted at UNTH hospital at Itukwazala in Enugu. So I would often come to the male wards early in the mornings to pray with you folks in the general male wards and still go back to my section. So you said it was a Tuesday morning. I came and I spoke on the ministry of angels. I spoke on the ministry of angels. And I told you folks that if you would believe that angels had worked with me and for me, and if you would believe that you would find angels come there and do wonders, and bring about healing and get people discharged. And you said you believed with everything inside of you. Sometime mid-morning that same day, you said the consultant in charge of your husband's case, he walked into the hospital, into the ward with about three other people whom you believed were student doctors. He asked the nurse to bring your husband's folder. You said he cancelled a number of things, and he prescribed a particular medication for you that you rushed off to the pharmacy, and you were pleasantly surprised that it was sold at 200 naira. You said it was yellowish, smallish, and looked exactly like B complex. You said you came back and administered it to your husband, and to your uttermost shock, under 30 minutes, your husband, who had stopped talking for a long time, for months, who wasn't eating, who wasn't communicating in any way. The only thing I remember about your husband was a handsome young man who had lost so much weight, and he was intubated. He was feeding through tubes. So you said he sat up, spoke, and asked for his meal, and you were shocked. You said you were pleasantly shocked. You started shouting, And eventually you gave him food. He sat up and he was perfectly all right. He was talking, walking about, He said it was dramatic for somebody who hadn't been moving who was practically a vegetable for months. What struck you, according to you, was that when the consultant came back on Thursday morning, the moment you saw him, you went down on your knees and you raised your hands and you began to thank him, saying, "Doctor, thank you. Look at what God has used you to do. My husband is perfectly all right. This is somebody who doctors had lost. The same you had lost all hope. You were just administering anything." You said the consultant looked at you weird and said, "What, madam, what did you say?" And you repeated yourself, and he said, "Me. You said you saw me here on Tuesday." He said it wasn't him. He denied vehemently. And when you continued insisting that this guy had treated you guys for a little over a year, that the doctor, that there's no way you couldn't know him. He said the doctor got really pissed off. And warned you sternly never to repeat such a thing again, and asked the witnesses that came if he had ever brought them there on Tuesday. He said no. He sent for a nurse to bring your husband's folder. They opened it. There was no such thing like any cancellations. There was no prescription, nothing, no such record of that Tuesday visitation. He said that was when it dawned on you that the pastor who had come and spoken about the ministry of angels, that angels had visited you. So it was on Friday you started. I ran into you guys. You were with two other ladies. You were excitedly looking for me to tell me the story. So you told me the story, and I was quite excited with you. I was happy for you. We praised God together. And I remember we exchanged numbers. The three of us, we exchanged numbers. And you said the doctor has sent you guys on for tests, and that same Friday, yes, most of the test results came back, and he discharged you guys. But you couldn't just leave because you had stayed in the hospital for a long time, and you needed to do a lot of paperwork and all whatnot before leaving. What you do not know is that on the Sunday of that same weekend, I was also discharged from the hospital. We were discharged by death. I, the one who prayed, and people were leaving the hospital wards. I left with a corpse. I left with the cops. That's the irony, of the whole thing. Even true here. The thing is this. I remember you ladies calling me often and often, quite often. You guys were calling me, but what you don't know is I went into a kind of darkness for 5 years that it took only God to bring me out of last year. I would literally look at my phones. If you were not a family member or something I desperately needed, I would just be looking at my phone. I would sit still for hours on end and just keep looking. I don't want to go into stories, but whatever made me not respond to you guys, you must know that it was tough. It was not an easy one. So please, my sister, I am looking for you. The only thing I remember about you is you said you guys you had just gotten married for 3 years. Your marriage was 3 years old, and that's why you couldn't just let your husband go. You said he was he had been poisoned by friends. That's what you said. And again, you said you guys were living at your layout in Enugu. So please, if you come across this video and you are the one, and you're already following me, or you were friends, I don't know, please know that I wasn't just damning you. I was in the worst place of my life. They say the man of God at his best is just a man. Just a man. So please, I want to apologize profusely to you and the other two ladies, and to let you know that I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. There's a reason why I'm looking for you. So please, if you see this video, please do me an inbox or send me a friend request. Internet, please help me. I don't know how to go about it. Thank you so much. I'll be expecting that by some miracle, by some angelic help, you call me. Thank you.